football, Formula One, Ultimate Fighting Championship. If you're a sports fan, video games have mostly got you covered. But that's not been the case for boxing until now. We're in Sheffield for this one, the Steel City, known for its manufacturing, but it also has a rich boxing heritage as well. And this gaming studio that we've come to is hoping to inspire new fans to get into the game and the sport in real life too. Undisputed by Steel City Interactive started off as the dream of CEO Ash Habib and his two brothers.
We've always been heavy gamers our entire lives, and we've always been big boxing fans. You know, Sheffield being having a rich heritage in boxing. You know, Prince Nassim, Ryan Rose, Johnny Nelson, all those guys. So yeah, he was like, why don't we try making a game, a little small indie game, just with a couple of us, and yeah, the kind of journey started from there. So yeah, we thought we'd give it a shot, and took each day as it came, really.
4.5 years later, and some of the world's best-known boxers have agreed to appear in the game.
I think when fighters saw that, like, we love the sport, we want to do justice to boxing and kind of bring it back to gamers, they all really rallied round. But I wanted them to see what we were actually doing, so we invited them to the studio, got them to play the game before even talking about, like, you know, can we have you in, kind of thing. So yeah, to get the likes of like Tyson Fury, Canelo Alvarez, Muhammad Ali, Jack Dempsey, Jack Johnson, Rocky Marciano, right through to, you know, current superstars, as I mentioned, with Canelo. And, you know, it's also an opportunity for us to kind of put British boxing on the map as well with up-and-coming stars.
It's not all been smooth running. Undisputed's had criticism from PC players who have had access to an early version of the game.
I guess we haven't been able to put out updates as quickly as we would like, but you know, one thing I've learned is game development isn't easy. When you kind of see it from the outside, and then when you actually have to see what's involved, it's a different ball game. But no, I think where we are now with the game, we're incredibly happy with the changes we've made. And we can't wait for fans to get their hands on the latest version when it drops. So I think a lot of the criticisms that we've had in terms of, like, maybe some of the punches don't feel great, or some of the action is kind of not as I guess as good as even what we put out in terms of our early development videos. We've really gone into quite a lot of detail to make sure we've hit the spot, and yeah, I'm just excited about what players can see now.
It's not just household names in there. The makers have also included up-and-coming boxers like Dalton Smith.
For me, as a boxer and a boxing fan also, it's just a nice touch to, you know, give them the opportunity to grow their profile and their name as well.
I want to talk about influencer boxing. You know, it's quite a big thing, the old YouTuber boxing. Mixed opinions on it. What's your opinion on it?
From the early days, I wasn't a fan, but you know, you can only give them credit for what they're doing. They're bringing a lot of eyes to boxing, and it's also inspiring the younger generation, the kids. You know, they're going into boxing gyms because they're seeing, you know, the big YouTube stars fighting. And whether they're not a boxing fan, they're getting into gyms through those guys. So, you know, that's only a bonus in itself. So, you know, you can only give it credit for, you know, inspiring the younger generation.
And I asked that because this game could do the same thing, right? Of opening it up to new audiences, and they can work together.
Exactly. It's, you know, obviously for me, I'm a boxer. You know, on the YouTube, I do divide the two. You know, from the real boxers and the YouTubers. But you know, as long as that's there, you know, it's, you know, I'm all for it. If it's inspiring the younger kids, getting them into gyms, you know, putting them on the straight and narrow, it's, you know, it's a win-win for both sides.
If YouTubers do get put in the game, who would you most want to fight as yourself? And as Dalton, who would you most want to fight?
Whoever's mentioning my name the most, you know, any of them. You know, I won't be bothered. You know, what makes money makes sense. So yeah, whoever wants it.
Champion of the world.
To make the game as authentic as possible, the developers used motion capture of the real-life boxers. So we're going to get in that suit there, and I'm going to get put through my paces. we're ready.
Stand in end pose, relaxed and look straight ahead for 3 seconds. Now, move around to move and rotate all the sensors.
You don't want this. You don't want this. No one wants this. And I can do a little Conor McGregor if you want.
Dalton will give you a workout.
I hope you've had plenty of water.
Oh no. And it's quite a tiring process.
You're starting, they've like, you see if you're throwing that hand, you'll come back to that position.
Okay.
Yeah. And the reason we do that is so that when we chain the boxes together, chain the punches together, they can flow better.
Cool. Cool. So every time I do it, back in there.
Yeah.
Back in there.
Yeah.
And then we'll go right hand.
Yeah. But we do one where it's basically random. And what we want to do is, so imagine you're the character in the game. The game itself controls which way you turn. So all of the animation that we do, or the mocap that we do, you always face the same way. So even if you go over here, you kind of face in as if somebody's right in front of you, forwards and backwards, they're right in front of you. So what we do is, I normally stand in front of somebody who's getting mocapped. So if you're here, and you're in your kind of like idle stance, like you're sort of doing this, and then I'll walk around like really quickly in a random fashion, and your job is to stay in front of me in the same position. You have to follow me.
In like this.
But so if I go here, you don't turn. I go there.
I have to. Okay.
So it's almost like I've got a stick in front of me, and no matter where I go, you try and
I've got to stay in front.
Stay where that stick is.
This is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do
and
it.
I'm going to get Dalton. So move around. So we want to do some slow ones as well as some fast ones. And your job is to try and keep up with Dalton.
That was the one that scares me.
Legs burning.
Feeling it.
Good job, yeah. Good
Nice
job.
one. That was really fun. Oh.
Yeah, so that's about 20% of what we do with someone like Dalton comes in.
And now we're going to show you how to slip shots, yeah? How to dodge it.
Yeah, come on.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
That was good.
Good work.
You see all the sweat coming down me now. That is a tough workout.
Throw a towel in.
Awesome.
Oh, that was really fun. That was
Good?
Yeah, I love that, man. Don't know how you do it.
You certainly talk the talk. Now they've got to walk the walk.
All what's left is for the first bell to go. That's all we need now, because the build-up is getting ridiculous.
We've waited a long time for this fight. It's here.
The games industry is a tough place to be now, with studio closures and layoffs. But Ash thinks...
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't been great. Seeing what's happening, as you say, in the games industry with the job losses. I think, from a personal point of view, I guess I don't like the idea of like 3 or 4 huge companies kind of owning everything. But I do think there's space for indie developers to come out and do stuff, and I'd like to think we're kind of proof of that, really, where you can start something off in your living room essentially, and it turning out to be hopefully a pretty big franchise. But also the kind of game we're making. We've had huge support from the boxing industry, so like I wasn't overly reliant on the gaming industry actually to get us to where we are now. So I think those early moments for us were really important to get the boxing industry behind us, and that then allowed us to have a really solid footing before I guess the gaming industry got behind us. Hopefully a pretty big franchise.
It's here, and the fighters are good to go.
There's a lot of work to do before the game hits consoles in October, but this is one independent studio hoping it can punch above its weight. Luke Wolstenholme, BBC News.
There's the bell to start the